Hey guys, so everybody seems to wonder what happened to the first 240 I had, the old 240, which is the original the drift car. The simple answer is I parted out and then scrapped it. So here's the footage from that as well as the reasoning behind doing it. Today comes the day where I finally strip this thing and get it ready for scrap. So here's all the interior plastics. I still need to take all those out. Majority of the interior is done. I need to take out the carpet because Nikita wants that. Got to take out the entire wiring harness, probably the blower, the heater core, all that sort of stuff. Oh boy, okay. So all the interior pieces are done. Clutch pedal, gas pedal, brake pedal, all removed. Everything behind the dash is removed. Rear bumper support removed. Wiring harness removed. There's more wiring harness. There's the other wiring harness. So I was over here, it's taking out the fuel pump, and I'm like, that doesn't seem OEM. It says Walbro on there. Look up the part number. That's a Walbro 255. This thing had a 255 in it. So this is end of day one. So yeah, just a few more things, then we gotta start cutting it up. There we go. Guy should be coming for the car now. He's gonna scrap it. Okay, and let me just explain one more time why I can't really keep it. As you can tell how buckled the frame is right there. And it's not just, you know, towards the front, which usually gets smashed. It's past that and it affects where the sway bar mounts to. And it goes behind that and also affects where the cross member is. So then of course the cross member mounting point is all pushed up and bent over there. If you actually look at the frame right here, you can see that buckling going on. Notice on this side, there's a crease in the frame rail. And all this would be fine as long as it was from the shock tower forward. But as you notice, especially with that crease, that's right at where the shock tower is. And then the other damage was behind the shock tower, behind where the cross member mounted to, which basically means that if you were to save this chassis, you would have to do like a full tube front all the way from the firewall forward. I think the wheel broke or something broke or hit a curb and it smashed it back into the firewall over here, as you'll notice. You can see where the firewall is at. All this is smashed in. There's a crinkle in the frame over here, and of course this is where your anti-wheel intrusion bars are supposed to go, so that's kind of like a big deal. Then on top of that, where the trans cross member goes, right, holds the transmission in place, all of the threads into the chassis for that are all cross-threaded, so those would all have to be redone. And there's just a whole bunch of random bolts like that are cross-threaded throughout the chassis. Basically it's just not worth it. And so what I did instead is I took as many parts off as I could. There's basically just maybe a handful of bolts still on this car, but that's about it. Every other bolt is taken off. The core support is taken off because that was still straight. This was smashed over here so it wasn't saved, but the whole rear quarter over here was sold to someone else. That's a spare smashed hood, so ignore that. But the hood was all sold, fenders sold, doors sold. So the rear quarter glass, we tried removing the windshield, but it ended up cracking over there. But otherwise we did try and save that as well. I was actually going to save the roof too, but in order to get out the rear quarter on that side, I needed to actually cut into part of the roof, so couldn't save the roof, but otherwise, yeah. And then of course, because it's California, we don't really have an issue with rusting floors, so I can't sell the floor out of this car either, which basically limits that. The gas tank in the back was already smashed, so I couldn't sell that. So right here is what you're seeing is as far as I could possibly part out the car. Another thing you got to realize is that in California too, like people will give away clean title shells with straight frames for free or for like 500 bucks. So for something that has frame damage, you could already get a clean shell for free. I can't even give this away for free. So I'd rather part it out, make some more money for myself, and then on top of that, you know, give another guy a straight core support for his car, and give another guy a straight quarter panel for his car, and then give another guy a quarter glass for his car. So I'd rather keep like 20, 30, 240s on the road rather than one junky one, and I lose more money this way too. So there you have it. I hope that answered your question on what happened to that car. And if you have any more questions you've been wanting to ask, comment them down below so that way I can pick some of your questions out and then use them in a Q&A video I have coming out soon. As always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Leave them in the comments below, and then I'll sort through them all. Fuck me, man.